This video brought to you by our Patreons. Please consider supporting this channel and joining our Patreons at patreon.com/NovaWing24. Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on the very late edition for Sunday the 16th of August 2020, and let's jump straight into it with, actually, you know what, before we get started with this, no, there is no Microsoft Flight Simulator news in this video. No, sorry. Because it's still a couple of days away before it actually is released. We covered off the pre-order last week, and yes, you'll get to it then. So, look for it next week. Anyway, moving on. Right, now that we've got that real chestnut out of the way, on to the release news for this week. So, starting with the guys over at Orbix and X-Plane 11 with their release this week of their True Earth Baleric Islands, which is a very much a far smaller scale from one of their True Earth regions, this one. Now, this covers the entire Balearic archipelago off the coast of Spain in the Mediterranean, including for the islands of Menorca, Mallorca, and Ibiza, which for me will be very interesting because I spent time on a couple of those islands, and it will be very interesting for me to go to have a look and go back down a bit of memory lane there as well. This destination provides a home. It's going to be probably a very big destination and a big interest for people who want to recreate their summer holidays, as it were, throughout Europe. Now, this high-detailed photoreal representation of the islands includes over 150 points of interest included as part of their Orbix launcher, including a variety of historical monuments, hotels, and attractions all over the islands that have been custom hand-modelled and with custom 3D models as well. It also goes through and using accurate and custom Spanish-themed autogen as well. And this is an interesting one where they're using 60 centimeter pixel aerial imagery throughout most of it. But the thing that's interesting for me is that they've been including the terrain mesh they're using is actually based off LiDAR data, and I've seen how accurate that data can be. So this is going to be pretty epic and pretty amazing for this one. They've been, as well as modelling the points of interest, they've also included a range of helipads on the islands as well. For our rotary winged companions, this is definitely going to be one that you're going to be wanting to consider. Now, you can pick this one up directly from the Orbix Direct Store, coming in about $20 or the original equivalent, available now. Continuing on with X-Plane 11 releases, the guys over at Aerosoft have come out with their latest release of the Reggio Calabria for X-Plane 11. Now, this particular airport is located down at the bottom end of the boot part of Italy, and this rendition of the airport includes all airport buildings facilities as it appears at the start of 2020. It has also been overhauled, but customized to make full use of PBR texturing and PBR ground polys as well, so when the ground is wet it will actually appear wet, which is kind of cool. Custom terrain mesh for the airport and surrounding area. Surrounding cityscape has also been provided in detail with customized autogen and a variety of other items around the airport as well, including custom 3D cars, custom trees, and a full reproduction of the Aero Club as the airport as well. In terms of the points of interest in the city, includes all the main city buildings, including the main football stadium as well. Now, you can pick this one up either direct from Aerosoft or from your favorite flight sim retailer, coming in at about $25 or your original equivalent, available now. In another scenery release for the X-Plane 11 world, the guys over at Runway 26 Simulations have released their latest airport in their rendition of Florida's Boca Raton Airport. So this one is a GA and commuter airport servicing the great state of Florida, and includes a full accurate layout of the airport as it appears during the start of 2020, full support for PBR materials throughout, and as well as high definition ground textures throughout as well. Full support for ground traffic and custom static aircraft modelled as well. And a lot of the major points of interest, including the local stadium, has also been included, as well as the actual airport itself. Now, you can pick this one up from your favorite flight sim retailer, coming in for about $12 or your regional equivalent, available now. Moving out of the X-Plane 11 world and moving into the world of the ESP platforms. Well, first of all, moving to Prepared exclusive. So Just Sim have rebooted their rendition of Malta International Airport and bringing it in line with Prepared V5, which is actually the first overhaul they've done in this one in a few years. So it actually sort of really does bring it up to date, this one. Now, This includes an updated airport layout, including up-to-date as it appears at the start of 2020, including all updates to various terminal buildings, including the freight terminal, have all been updated as well, and is also designed to be fully compliant with the updated SDK that comes with prepared v5. It also now says they overhauled the ground polygons to make full use of PBR materials. Again, when your runway is wet, it will actually be wet, both in the sim and in the way it works. They've also designed it and updated with the photo scenery to be updated with the Orbix's OpenLC data for Europe as well. Otherwise, it's pretty much still the same thing as it, but they have overhauled the photo reel that goes on as well, so it's looking pretty cool. So if you're a new user for this one, you're looking at paying about $25 for this one from Just Sim. Otherwise, if you're updating, you're looking at paying about $10 to update for this one if you're a previous owner. Available now from Sim Markets. Continuing on with releases, but this time for the full gambit of ESP Sims, so FSX all the way through to, and all flavors are prepared up to and including V5. The guys over at FSX Scenery have come out with a couple of odd regional airports. The first one being Greater Birmingham Airport, which is a small airport in Broome County in New York. And now this is an airport that was opened during the 1970s and operated as a small GA airport, and also providing services to the BizJet community and the commuter community. I don't really have much information about this. I'm assuming the layout is fairly current, but the press release that FSX Scenery put out was very bare. FSX Scenery, as a developer, they're not bad. I think some of their texturing could do with some work, but at the end of the day, they produce a lot of airports that most other people won't do. So often they'll be the only ones other than default. So we'll see how they go. So for this one's coming in at $16 US, or the original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. In the other release from FSX Scenery this week, also again for the full gamut of ESP Sims, was their release this week of Charlottesville Albemarle Airport. So this one is a regional airport in Virginia, opened in the 1950s and gone through reconstruction again through later on. Again, don't have much more information about that because they don't put out any information about their products, which is really annoying. And again, same comment as before. It's an airport that nobody else covers. So there you go, same price as well, $16 US, or your original equivalent, available now from Sim Market. Moving out of the flight sim world, moving into the world of the permanent way, we saw the release of a couple of releases this week for Train Simulator. So the first release we saw was the release of a underground route, actually, for Train Simulator 2020. We saw the release of the Metropolitan Line, Aldgate, Uxbridge, and Amersham route add-on. So this is a really interesting one as well. Like I keep forgetting that they actually have the metro line covered and the underground. I keep forgetting that it's actually in the sim. So this comes to us from developer Just Trains, and the metro line itself, the underground line, dates back to the 1800s, and it's just really amazing. That it's such an amazing feat of engineering, and the fact that it's still going to this day is kind of cool. Anyway, so all 34 stations in this route are accurately modelled as they appear during the the last few years. Including the different style of tunnels that appear in various portions along the route as well, have all been authentically and accurately modelled. Now, along with the 42 miles of route covering the full Metropolitan Line, is from Aldgate to Uxbridge, Watford, Chesham, and Amersham. It also includes, as I said, the 34 highly accurate detailed train stations. Includes 13 scenarios, as well as a basic version of the London Underground S8 EMU also included as well. You also get 7 free roam scenarios are also included, with a variety of custom buildings are done as well. So just a correction to what I just said about that. So there are 7 free roam scenarios to a basic version of the S8, which ships with this. But then if you purchase if you already own the London Underground S8, the high definition version, you get 13 additional scenarios as well. So there you go. Sorry, I just want to correct that one for you guys there. All right, so as that brings us, and that is releases available coming in at $40 US, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. In the other matching release that came out this week, also from developer Just Trains, was for the London Underground S7 Plus 1 EMU add-on. So this is as they call it, the state-of-the-art commuter attraction in the form of Just Trains' stylish London Underground S7 Plus 1. So this was a train that was brought into service on the underground routes towards the end of the 2000s, when it was required that there was going to need to be a new fleet was going to be needed for the Greater Underground network. And then again, they were going to spread the fleet across two variants, the S7 and the S8. So the S7, basically, one was 7 cars long, one was 8 cars long. That was really kind of interesting. The S7 plus 1 variant serves on the Met during when the S8 units were receiving engineering modifications. So some of the S7s were then modified to have an additional coach so they could keep the capacity, because from my personal experience, the underground gets extraordinarily busy. So this was like a really interesting in-term solution that the local London Underground workshops went through to actually be able to keep the capacity while the S8s were receiving some upgrades during the later 2000s. So it became a bit of an interesting, unique sort of part, and yeah, it was great to be able to come across and bring across this to the virtual train world now. So this provides you with a highly detailed rendition of the S7 Plus 1 stock EM electromotive unit here in the London Underground livery. Includes both the standard and de-icing units with authentic cab controls and instruments, a fully operable train control and management system, realistic passenger door operation, operable trip cock safety system. Wow, that's hard to say quickly. Then passenger emergency alarm simulation and a whole of random of other important effects as well, including random pickup shoe sparking effect. Is that the train equivalent of tire smoke? Is that the equivalent of train? Anyway, along with the EMU, it also includes 13 standard and 7 free roam scenarios available for use on the Metropolitan Line, Aldgate, Uxbridge, and Amersham route that we can pick up there. Now, this one is available for $33 US, or the original equivalent, available now on Steam. Or you can pick up both of these together as a pack on about a 25% discount, available now on Steam. Moving out of the permanent way, but moving on to the racetrack, Automobilista 2 saw the latest release of their latest piece of DLC this week with their release of the Silverstone Pack. Now, this is one for anybody who's into motor racing in any way, shape, or form. You will know the Silverstone racetrack, and this rendition of it is really interesting in the fact that it comes through with 4 different layouts of the track during 4 different periods of its time. So you get the track laid out as it was in 1975, 1991, 2001, and in 2020. It's really interesting because Automobilista has such a wide range of vehicles in it. It'd be really interesting to be able to see how modern cars perform on the older versions of the track, and vice versa as well, so, which is now something that you can do according to this now sim as well. As an interesting side note, although it ships with the 4 at the moment, it's very interesting that on the side it says additional layouts for the main track in each era will be gradually added in future updates. So this may be the DLC that keeps giving into the future, which is kind of cool. If you are wanting to add this one to your experience, you can add this one for $10 US, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And with that now rounds up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Apologies for it being late. It's been a very hectic weekend, being able to bring a previews of the upcoming Microsoft Flight Simulator to everybody over on my Twitch channel. In the meantime, folks, if you are wanting to catch me on my launch stream, I will be doing a very topical launch stream for the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll be heading over on Twitch, so you can join me there at Twitch TV /NovaWing24. We'll be doing a very long stream. We'll be starting at 0800 Zulu on the 17th of August and going through for at least until it becomes available in the Oceania region, and possibly longer. But if you want to come along and support, see what the future of flight simulation looks like, please come along and join me and the rest of your fellow virtual aviators in the channel at Twitch TV /NovaWing24 from 0800 Zulu on the 17th of August. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.